Yo, yo. Thanks for tuning to Sauce on Everything. You know what it is, SOE Cash Cow. Make sure you click the link in the bio. Like, subscribe, know what to do. Really appreciate the love. So, man, I did a whole episode and my mic was off. So, I apologize for that. That was my last episode. If you happen to tune in and was like, man, what the fuck? I can't hear shit. My mic was off. I don't know how or why, but it was. And I was talking big shit and wasn't paying attention to my mic level. So, my apologies for that. So instead of going through everything that I ranted about before, I'm going to just get right into my girl here. And then I actually did see something else a couple seconds ago that I'm going to talk about as well. But first I got to talk about my girl here, man. This lady right here, man, listen. She done broke the mold, man. She done hit niggas with the code, okay? And I'm all for it. So she said, our sons are aware that if they have babies out of wedlock, they'll lose their inheritance for them, and I will have to start from scratch. We were clear about this prior to having children. Most boys comfortable with doing this is because they have zero standards, expectations, and inheritance. You have to incentivize good behaviors and decisions. I think this is a great idea. And I think it's something that we can all benefit from, right? Because let's be honest. Majority of black people don't have an inheritance to give their children, unfortunately. But that don't mean you can't give them something. So this is what I was thinking. Like when I first seen it, I'm like, yo, I'm probably gonna tell my son the same shit, right? But does he have an inheritance waiting for him? No. But like just think about it. Like you tell your son turned 13 or some shit, and you be like, yo, you know your grandmama left you an inheritance. And he be like, what? Like, yeah, your grandma left you an inheritance. Yeah, for sure. For real? Yeah, how much was it? I ain't telling you how much it is. But just know you got some money out there. Now, only way you gonna get this money, bro, is you can't have any kids out of wedlock, man. So, you can't have no kids out of wedlock. So I would suggest that you strap up. Make sure you're wearing condoms. And you probably preferably want to date women who are on birth control. Just in case. Just another line of protection. But if she's not on birth control, that's fine. Just make sure you buy all your own condoms and you don't let her give you one. So yeah. That's what I would be on. So then they'd be like, well, when am I get my inheritance? I'm like, you get your inheritance once you get married. Once you get married, we give you your inheritance, man. Something to help you out with your wedding and your marriage and stuff. Now, what I could do is I could, maybe start some type of insurance policy or something like that, and maybe cash it out around the time that he turns a certain age. Or I could just literally take my own money, maybe take $100 a month or something and put it to the side. Inheritance money. I'll put it in my inheritance account. This is the inheritance money. And then when he gets married, depending on when that is, he might get an inheritance of like, I don't know, maybe 20,000, 25,000, something like that. Just depends on when he gets married, because I'm putting the money up. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting the money up for his inheritance. So when he does get married, the money's gonna be there. He's gonna have something. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even if you get a nigga like $1,000, that's you can be like, man, I thought it was more than that. Thought she left you more than that, cuz, but she only left $1,000. So, but hey, man, that's $1,000 more than you had before. That's $1,000 just for not getting a woman. For being a responsible adult, man. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. So, but yeah, this should be something that this could be a new practice in the black community. I really think it can. But like I said, the inheritance is just probably biggest thing, and that's why I said, instead of doing inheritance, you could just be like, look, you got an inheritance, and the inheritance, just you saving up some money and giving them some money when they get married. You know what I'm saying? Here's some money when you get married. Sounds good to me. So that's how I'm looking at how I could play this my hand, because like I say, every family doesn't have inheritances to give out. Um, doesn't have an inheritance to give out or anything of that nature. So it's a little everybody. I don't want people to be like, well, I don't have an inheritance, so I can't do that. Like, no, you can do it. Just lie. You know what I'm saying? Just lie about it. And then when time come, give them a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be $1,000,000. You give them a couple dollars. You're like, here you go. Here's your money for your inheritance. I doubt very seriously they say anything, because it'll just be money that they getting. Like, oh shit, left me $10,000. That's awesome. Left me $5,000. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Left me $1,000. That's awesome. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. So,
man who is trying to teach his woman.
So I'm gonna drop this one more gem, and then I'm out. When I'm dropping this, because I know it's a lot of women that probably are not going to see this on Instagram. So I'm gonna play it so y'all can hear it on my page.
His woman. That's their form of love. They are natural teachers. They want to guide, they want to lead, they want to make sure that you are safe and you are mentally prepared for any enemy that is coming at you. Okay? So a lot of women are taking their criticism or taking their direction as a personal attack, when really it's their form of love. Men typically, from my experience, are analyzers. They analyze a person, especially the person they're with. They see your frame of thinking, they see where your weaknesses are, and they want to strengthen you. I'll go even further. When a man cares about a woman, he wants to protect her. And so knowing how vulnerable she is to potential dangers, to the enemy, to predators, to threats out in the world, he is going to analyze her critical thinking and her mind frame. And if he sees flaws in it, he sees that you are naive in certain areas, he's going to want to fix that. He's going to want to teach you. He's going to want to make you stronger, more mentally aware, so that you're not a target for dangerous people and entities in the world. Okay? That's a good man. And that's one of the deepest forms of love. Listen, a man who is trying to teach his woman loves his woman.
So, what do you guys think? I think she did hit the nail on the head. And I'm going to say, as a man, that's probably one of my biggest turnoffs, is a woman who cannot take direction, or a woman who thinks that because you try to tell her something or teach her something, that you are being condescending, or something of that nature, where like you're trying to belittle her because you're telling her something that she didn't know. And like I've told many women who feel like, because I've said something to them, or because I've tried to teach them something, I've had a woman say, oh, that sounded condescending. And I'm like, well, I definitely didn't mean it in a condescending way. So, I apologize if you took it like that, but that's not how I was saying it. And honestly, I don't know how you could even look at it that way. But once again, she looked at it that way because that's how her mentality is set up. Her mentality is set up to where if a man says something to her or tries to give her knowledge or try to teach her, that he's trying to, be condescending. He's trying to be controlling. He's trying to, I don't even know how the fuck these women look at the shit, honestly. Because I would think that somebody telling you something, you would just want to take it in and say, oh, okay, thank you for the information. I didn't know that. And keep it moving. But no. For some reason, and the only women I date are black. So it seems like, and once again, this is not just one black woman that I've dated. I've dated many black women. And I've had a lot of the same issues with black women. One of their biggest issues is, in my opinion, is trying to put their trauma on you. So women will call you names. Oh, you're a narcissist. You're this, you're that. And if you know yourself, like I know myself, I know I'm not any of those things. So when a woman comes out and says them like they're facts, like that's the truth, I'm usually like, I'm cool on you. I'll keep it moving. This is not going to work. And the reason I say that, and the reason I keep it moving, is because I've already recognized that you're putting your traumas onto me. You're putting things that you went through with other men in your life, and because maybe I say something that triggers you, you feel like I'm just like them niggas. And I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm me. And the things that I say I know aren't mean, aren't condescending, aren't narcissistic. They're just, if I'm saying something to you, then, we're talking about something. If you ask me about something, then I'm going to give you my answer. If I see something that I feel is, incorrect, irresponsible, immature, then I'm going to say something. And that's what I'm supposed to do as a man. But I feel like maybe a lot of women are used to men not saying anything of value. You're used to niggas just being like, let's smoke. You know what I'm saying? Where the bottles at? You know what I'm saying? Let's kick it. Let's go and do nothing all day. And then when you come across a man who's like, yo, no, you need to be doing this, or no, you know what you should try? You should try doing this. This will probably be a little bit more. Then it's, oh, this nigga condescending. This nigga this nigga think he this nigga think he that. All right, cool. Well, you want to kick it with the niggas that just want to smoke and drink all day? That's fine. Do your thing. I have more power to you. But I'm a thinker. I like to think. I like to resolve problems. I like to come up with solutions. I like to, as well as the woman that I'm with, I would definitely appreciate it even if she maybe didn't agree with everything that I say, but I would appreciate her acknowledging new knowledge that she gets, or acknowledging, hey, babe, you know what, baby, I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me that. So now I could go and whatever. You know what I mean? Not saying you got to lie about nothing, but just saying those are the type of things that men like to hear and make us feel good when we have our women, when we have women. Like when we're going to stay with a woman, it's probably because she listens, she takes direction well, and she understands me, and, and we have an understanding. But yeah, I mean, that's all we want. All we want is to make most men want to make their women better. Just like most women want to make their men better, I would think. Like, my mentality is, I want to put you in the best position possible to be successful. I want to tell you everything that I know about being successful, everything that I know about, whatever you have a question about. If I don't know the answer, because I don't know everything, so if I don't know the answer, then let's go find the answer together. Let's go look it up so we can both know, the answer. So communication is a big thing, and it's a big reason why I think a lot of our relationships don't work in the black community, is because not just we don't know how to communicate, but when somebody does communicate something, you have to have enough knowledge and wherewithal to know, okay, this guy isn't trying to belittle me. He's just trying to give me some information. He's just trying to teach me something. He's not trying to show that he's better than me or that he's smarter than me. He just wants me to be a better person. He wants me to be as successful as possible. So he's giving me, the things that he thinks I should do or that I may need to be as successful as possible. You don't have to do these things, you know what I'm saying? But if I tell you something and to make your life better, or to make things better, and you don't do it, then I am going to look at that some type of way, because I'm going to be like, well, I told you this is going to make your life better. You chose not to do it, so your life is still the same. Then why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't listen to me. So if you're not gonna listen to me, then what kind of relationship can we really have if nobody's listening to each other? So yeah, shout out to her, because yes, men, that's I think that's one thing that all men, try to do when it comes, men, not males, men, do when it comes to, dating out here and trying to meet the right woman and trying to have a future with that woman, because it's hard for me to think about or even look into having a future with somebody who that while we're dating you don't even listen to me, or while we're dating we can't communicate because every time I say something you take it some type of way, and it's like that's not my issue. Like I can't sit back. I'm not going to apologize for nothing. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh well, I'm sorry that you felt that was this. No, I'm not sorry that you felt that way. That's the way you felt about it, and you might want to get that checked out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you felt that way about it when that's not how it's supposed to come off, then that's not an issue with me. That's an issue with you. That's something that you got going on, not me. So, not to say I'm not saying I'm flawless or anything. I could definitely talk some shit, but I know, when I'm acting a fool. I know when I'm talking shit, when I'm being a certain way. But, majority of the time with women who I'm talking to who are, not even venting about stuff, because I even understand that. Oh, you just want to vent? You don't want me to solve shit? All right, I get it. Totally understand. But sometimes things just come up where I might be like for instance, like I'm gonna give this example because it's funny, because this example is with two different type of women, right? One woman is a black woman, business owner, has her own business, does her thing. Other one is a Puerto Rican woman, has a job, works every day, works out, stuff like that, right? Two different ethnicities. So one day, the black chick, she had told me that she works out 2 hours every day, right? And I said 2 hours every day. That's a lot. That's a lot of working out. You probably really only need about an hour, maybe an hour 15 minutes, to get a workout. Now the reason I said this is because, and she didn't know this at the time, but the reason I said this is because I was a personal trainer back in 2022. Actually, from 2020 to 2022 with NCCI, I believe that's what it was. But I was a personal trainer for them, and I took, the personal trainer test and all the other stuff. And that was one of the things that they talked about, in the workbook and in the test, was that you don't need to work, to build muscle and to work out. You don't need to work out for 2 hours, right? So I hit her with that, like, yeah, 2 hours is kind of long, what I'm saying, to be working out. That's a hell of a workout, right? Not saying, I didn't say all that, but that's what I'm thinking about, like, that's a hell of a workout. So she's like, well, how you know? And I'm like, well, because I was a personal trainer, for a couple years. And that was one of the things that, they told us as being a personal trainer, is that, you don't really need to be working out, no hour, 15 minutes, things of that nature, straight. Because your muscles can only tear up so fucking much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your muscles can only tear so much. Like, you keep working the same muscle for 2 hours. It's not, within the first hour, you tore up everything that you need to tear up. Now you're just hurting yourself. And that's another reason why they say you shouldn't work out that long, because you can hurt yourself. Hurt your body, things of that nature. So, anyways, she asked me how I knew. I told her how. And then from there, it was all downhill. Like, from there, I guess what I said was condescending. And this is through text. So, text can come off, different ways. But for her, it came off as I was being condescending. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I wasn't trying to be condescending. I'm sorry that you heard it that way, but I'm not trying. That's not how it's supposed to come out. So she got mad at me because I told her, I said, I'm sorry that you heard it that way. It came about to you that way, but that's not what I meant. And she pretty much was like, upset with me because I didn't say sorry that I said something. Like, she expected me to be like, oh, well, I'm sorry for being condescending, or I'm sorry for, saying something condescending, instead of saying, it's your, I didn't say sorry for being because I wasn't being condescending. So I never apologized for that. I said, I'm sorry that you took it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, was that condescending? I don't know, but whatever. I'm just like, I'm sorry that you took it that way. So she was upset with me because I said, I'm sorry that you took it that way. That's not how I meant it. But her mentality was, I should have said, I'm sorry for being condescending. I didn't mean to be condescending or whatever. That's not how I roll, so that's not what I said. Fast forward, talking to another young lady. For some reason, we come up with the same conversation. Now, this young lady, she's Puerto Rican. So she says the same thing to me, too. I work out 2 hours a day in the gym. So I'm like, once again, it's like deja vu for me. I'm like, oh, shit. Should I even say anything to this chick? Because the last chick I said something to, she got fucking... But me being who I am, I'm like, yo, why do you work out so long? You know what I'm saying? Why 2 hours? Right? So now I open up a little different. Instead of just being like 2 hours is too long. Open up a little different and just ask her why. Then she tells me, breaks down, everything that she does in the gym. And I say, well, I don't think you need to, 2 hours is a long time to work out. You really don't need 2 hours to work out. And I pretty much feel like I said the same exact thing to her that I said to the black chick. And she took it totally different. She took it like, oh, okay, well, all right, well, this is how I work out, but, 2 hours is kind of long, I could probably, because a lot of times it's not really a whole 2 hours, it's like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? The conversation didn't get negative. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like, all right, he has some knowledge on working out. Well, let me tell him what type of working out that I do and how much I work out and the things that I do during my 2 hour workout, and maybe we can break it down from there. So we had really got into a whole nice, good conversation about working out, about, about muscles, about tearing muscles, about working out for 2 hours being too long, things of that nature. It was just a totally, totally different conversation. And I personally don't feel like I did too much different. I probably did, though, just based off of me already knowing I just had another chick, get upset with me about telling her working out for 2 hours is a long time. But I still said the same thing. Working out for 2 hours is a long time. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, she could have been like, well, I'm going to work out 2 hours anyway, so I don't care what you say. Or, who you think you is. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just more like, oh, well, why you say that? And then I told her why I said it. And it was like, oh, well, this is what I do. Because once I told her that I did personal training, it's kind of like she was like, oh, okay, so you have some knowledge in working out and things of that nature. Whereas when I told the other lady I was a personal trainer, that shit didn't mean nothing to her. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I used to do personal training. It's like, so what, nigga? Don't be telling me 2 hours is too long. You don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just two different attitudes. But once again, this is also two different ethnicities. And it was just kind of like, it was just different. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like, it was refreshing to actually talk to a woman who actually valued my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, just want to talk about that right quick. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate the love. Thanks for stopping by. I got to get this call. Sauce on everything. Peace.